Ball, the lob, the jam! Oh, what a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan!
From rim-rattling posters to dunks that ended careers, the NBA has given us some of the most jaw-dropping moments in sports history. These aren't just highlights. They're plays that made fans jump out of their seats, got players clowned all over the internet, and even left legends humiliated on the court. Today we're counting down the 10 craziest NBA dunks that shocked the world. And trust me, when we get to number 1, you'll understand why it's still called the dunk of death. Number 10, Kobe Bryant baptizes Dwight Howard, 2004. Let's start with a dunk that was basically a welcome to the league moment. March 2004, Lakers versus Magic. Rookie Dwight Howard, 18 years old, still figuring out how the NBA worked, went up to block Kobe Bryant. Bad decision. Kobe drove baseline, rose up with that Mamba intensity, and absolutely smashed it right on Dwight's head. The crowd exploded, Shaq on the bench looked like he'd just seen a car crash, and Dwight, bro, had the "what just happened to me" face. That dunk didn't just count for 2 points, it counted as an initiation. Kobe basically handed Dwight his NBA ID card by dunking on him. Years later, Dwight admitted, "That was the moment I realized this was the NBA. No more high school stuff. Brutal."
If you look sore on that way, boy, I tell you, he elevated, and Dwight Howard says, "I got me a block." And he said, "Yeah, you got a block, all right."
Number 9, Ja Morant on Jalen Smith, 2022. If you ever needed proof that Ja Morant might not be fully human, this dunk is Exhibit A. December 2022, Pacers versus Grizzlies. Jay had the ball at the top of the key, and in just a couple of strides, he launched himself into orbit. It wasn't just a dunk, it looked like physics gave up trying to stop him. Jalen Smith did everything right. He was in the lane, ready to contest, but when Jay rose up, it was like Smith wasn't even there. Morant cocked the ball all the way back, almost like he wanted to break the shot clock instead of the rim, and then, boom, he detonated it right over Smith's head. The crowd lost their minds, teammates stormed the floor, and Smith was left frozen, wearing the face of a man who just got run over by a freight train. Within minutes, the clip was everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, people were spamming captions like, this man needs to be tested for wings. Even Ja joked afterward, "I just try to do things people ain't never seen before." Safe to say, mission absolutely accomplished.
Morant against McConnell. Pick and roll. Morant. Oh, my word. Holy cow.
Number 8, Scottie Pippen destroys Patrick Ewing, 1994 playoffs. This dunk wasn't just about the slam, it was about the disrespect. Game 6, 1994 Eastern Conference semifinals, Bulls versus Knicks. Scottie Pippen got the ball in transition, drove straight at Patrick Ewing, and boom, dunked right on the 7-footer's head. But here's where it gets legendary. Pippen stood over Ewing after the dunk, shoved him back down, and started jawing in his face. Then he turned and started yelling at Spike Lee courtside, telling him to sit his ass down. The whole arena went insane. Ewing looked furious, Spike looked stunned, and fans still say it was the most savage moment of Pippen's career. That dunk wasn't just 2 points, it was a full-blown humiliation package.
Myers for Pippen. Whoa, a faithful Scottie Pippen in the face of Patrick.
Number 7, Shawn Kemp's Lister Blister, 1992 playoffs. Shawn Kemp wasn't just a dunker, he was a highlight factory. But one dunk stands above all, the infamous Lister Blister. Game 4 of the 1992 playoffs, the Sonics versus Warriors. Kemp received a pass in the lane, took off like a human rocket, and slammed it down on Alton Lister with so much force it looked criminal. It wasn't just a dunk, it was a statement. And then came the signature moment, the disrespectful cherry on top. Kemp pointed at Lister with both fingers as if to say, "That's how it's done." The crowd erupted, the Sonics bench went wild, and even the Warriors players looked stunned, unable to comprehend what had just happened. It was a dunk that combined power, style, and attitude in a way few had ever seen. Years later, Kemp brushed it off, saying, I didn't even mean to point, it just happened." Sure, Shawn, that moment has lived on for decades, replayed in countless postseason highlight reels, and it's easy to see why. The Lister Blister wasn't just a dunk, it was pure basketball theatrics, a mix of skill and bravado that only Kemp could deliver. Number 6, Blake Griffin on Kendrick Perkins, 2012. By 2012, Blake Griffin was the king of posters, but what he did to Kendrick Perkins was next level. Clippers versus Thunder, January 30th. Blake drove baseline, rose up over Perkins, and literally threw the ball down through the hoop. Not a dunk, a throwdown. Perkins got knocked back like he'd been hit by a freight train. The Staples Center erupted. Announcers lost their voices. Twitter blew up. Even LeBron James tweeted, "Perk, you might want to stay down for a while." That dunk was so vicious, Perkins himself later admitted, "Yeah, that one hurt, but that's the game."
Oh, what a play by Blake!
Number 5, DeAndre Jordan murders Brandon Knight, 2013. Some dunks aren't just plays, they're straight up crimes. March 2013, Clippers versus Pistons. Chris Paul lobbed the ball into the paint, and Brandon Knight, standing at 6'3", tried to meet it. But DeAndre Jordan, he didn't just jump, he launched himself like a human missile, intent on turning the rim into his personal landing pad. Jordan caught the lob mid-air and threw it down with such authority that Knight didn't just miss the dunk. He got flattened beneath the rim like a bug under a shoe. The arena went wild. Fans screamed and social media instantly erupted. Twitter users weren't holding back. The play was dubbed the death of Brandon Knight's career. Clips were shared thousands of times and memes exploded overnight. Even DeAndre admitted afterward, "I felt bad. I didn't mean to end him like that." Knight, meanwhile, became a meme legend for years, forever immortalized as the guy who got absolutely murdered under the rim. That dunk wasn't just a highlight, it was a cultural moment, an internet phenomenon, and a reminder that sometimes in the NBA, athleticism is almost unfair. DeAndre Jordan's dominance was on full display that night, and no one who saw it could forget it.
Chris Paul, the lob, the jam! Oh, what a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan!
Number 4, LeBron James over Jason Terry, 2013. March 18th, 2013, Heat versus Celtics. LeBron James was in peak form, playing like a man untouchable. In a moment that would live forever in highlight reels, he caught an alley-oop and elevated over Jason Terry. What followed was pure chaos. LeBron slammed it down so hard that Terry ended up flat on the floor, looking like he'd been hit by a freight train. But it wasn't just the dunk, it was the aftermath. LeBron didn't just move on, he stood there, staring at Terry with that signature mix of intensity and disbelief, as if to say, why even try? The arena went wild. Fans were screaming, teammates were celebrating, and social media erupted within seconds. Twitter blew up, memes circulated instantly, and the dunk became a cultural moment beyond just basketball. Jason Terry later admitted, "That's the one play people never let me forget." Even as a respected veteran and NBA champion, he's eternally remembered for being dunked into the shadow realm. LeBron had officially stamped his dominance.
Chalmers, Paul, James! Whoa!
Number 3, Dr. J's baseline reverse, 1980 finals. Let's take it back to the original high flyer, Julius Erving, aka Dr. J Game 4 of the 1980 NBA Finals, and the stage couldn't have been bigger. The 76 ERs were on the attack, and Dr. J took the ball, driving hard along the baseline. What happened next is still replayed in highlight reels decades later. Erving floated under the rim, seemingly defying gravity, and in a move that left fans and players stunned, he switched hands mid-air and finished the dunk on the opposite side of the hoop. Magic Johnson, tasked with guarding him, stood frozen, mouth agape, looking like he'd just witnessed an alien on the court. The sheer elegance and audacity of the move made it unlike anything seen before. This dunk wasn't just a highlight, it was revolutionary. Dr. J turned dunking into art, blending athleticism with creativity, and changed how people viewed the game. It proved that basketball could be graceful, spectacular, and unforgettable all at once. Every time the baseline reverse is replayed, it reminds fans why Dr. J is still considered one of the most iconic figures in NBA history.
It's 89-84, Sixers, and they get inside. Unbelievable! Julius Erving. Watch this fantastic move by the...
Number 2, Michael Jordan's free throw line dunk, 1988. If there's one image that defines Michael Jordan, it's this. 1988 slam dunk contest, Chicago. Jordan tongue out, soaring through the air, launching from the free throw line and throwing it down. Now sure, Julius Erving did it first, but Jordan made it iconic. The slow motion cameras, the announcers screaming, the crowd losing their minds. It became the poster, the commercial, the logo of Air Jordan. That dunk wasn't just a contest winner, it turned MJ into a global icon.
just in front of that line. Look at this, the double clutch, the reach out, and the stuff. He got
Number 1, Vince Carter over Frederick Weiss, 2000 Olympics. And finally, the dunk to end all dunks, Sydney Olympics, 2000, Team USA versus France. Vince Carter gets a steal, takes one dribble, and then does the unthinkable. He jumps completely over 7'2", Frederick Weiss, and dunks it. Not around him, not through him, over him. Weiss didn't even react. He just stood there like his soul left his body. The French press called it Le Dunk de la Mort, the dunk of death. Kevin Garnett, watching from the bench, ran onto the court screaming like he just witnessed a murder. The crowd went insane. Even Vince admitted later, "I don't even know how I did it. It just happened." To this day, no dunk in basketball history has ever matched it. So there you have it. The 10 craziest NBA dunks that shocked the world. From Kobe baptizing Dwight, to DeAndre turning Brandon Knight into a meme, to Vince Carter pulling off the single greatest dunk ever. But now I gotta ask you, which one was the most disrespectful? Was it Scottie Pippen standing over Patrick Ewing, or LeBron staring down Jason Terry like he just buried him? If you're feeling the vibes, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your squad. Let's grow this basketball family.